call meeting to order. Becky, you are okay with that?
Sure am.
Say they build a certain.
Well, we're the meeting started now.
Meeting started, sorry. So we'll have, everybody have a opportunity to check over the agenda and entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Do you want me to do roll call first?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. I've got that. Sorry. Thank you.
Brian Venema,
Here.
Tom Stewart,
Yes.
Christine Fobb, here, Emerita Keys,
Here.
There we go.
Sandra Gerlach, here, Monica McHugh,
Here.
Mike Burke.
Here. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, so move on to approval of the minutes. Do we want to do each meeting separately or jointly? Does it make any difference? Anybody? You not getting anything about any of the minutes in particular they want to talk about that we can do? Approve the both the minutes at the same time?
I move that we approve both sets of minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Next item is the designation of official physical posting location. Becca, do you want to go over that? for us,
I will.
please?
So,
It's our board's bill.
yeah, is it?
Yeah,
Would you like to explain it?
What it does is it requires the posting of the agendas. You can post them now on a website. It doesn't have to be on the door. But it's gotta be 24 hours in advance. And if there's an amendment to the agenda, that also has to be completed 24 hours in advance. So we just did an advisory opinion on that on Thursday.
But you mean, so any amendment has to be before the meeting?
Yes, before the meeting, 24 hours before the meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm. So I can post a public notice, a general public notice that we're having a meeting in the newspaper and then wait to post
The
the
agenda
agenda.
until 24 hours in advance.
And our official posting location is the main public entrance doors of the Jackson County Courthouse.
So if something comes up that day, we can't address it.
No, we can't, not if the agenda has to be amended. If you pull up, AHIP's website,
We have to.
So yeah, it's a done deal, isn't it?
we're on video or there might be a head slide.
Yeah.
And it is, advisory opinion, 26 AO 0008. Oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry. No, that was another one. No, I take that back. The one we did was not on that. We will have another one this next meeting on the agenda because we're getting lots of questions on it. I'm sorry, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
So that part isn't in stone yet.
Well,
It is.
it is. We're just gonna clarify.
Okay. It just, I guess in a government, meeting, I guess you can afford to wait till the next meeting if something comes up the day of the meeting.
Yeah.
It just seems that's not very flexible. That's all I'm saying.
The whole, we have had on IPIB so many problems with agendas being posted. And we've had schools that have posted them on bulletin boards inside, but the doors are locked, so you can't see school board meeting notices, but that's the official location. Legally, they weren't wrong. Ethically, it was a problem. But we had to follow the law prior, so like here in Jackson County, all of the township meetings, they're posted in the auditor's office. That's their official location. All right, how many people can make it here between 8:30 and 4:30 to look at a township agenda? And it was a problem. The legislature knew it was a problem. And so that's why they allowed the agendas to be posted on the website if they have a website available.
Okay.
So. But yes, it does change the amendments. You cannot amend an agenda less than 24 hours prior to the meeting. So that is spelled out. And yes, I agree, but that's kind of an inconvenience compared to the issues of posting agendas where people can see them, because most people today go to a website to look for the agenda. So that's my iPad story.
Okay. And we can move on.
We have to vote on that?
We have a motion.
She says we do.
Oh, we've been motioning to have it designated. Well,
We
you don't have to? Okay. Lisa suggested that we do.
We don't have to.
Okay, then we won't.
That's not required.
We do it, and we get a vote. So we'll move on to the work session of discussion about high density computing facilities ordinance. Becca, what do you got?
Okay. Have. The purpose of tonight's discussion is not to finalize the ordinance or resolve every newly raised technical issue. Staff has incorporated the revisions previously discussed and requested by the commission into the July 20th working draft. Since the Board of Supervisors will be asked on July 28th to consider a 12-month extension of the current moratorium, tonight's goals are to review where the draft currently stands, acknowledge the additional comments and resources received, identify the major areas requiring further technical, legal, or agency assistance, establish priorities for continued work during the proposed extension period, and obtain commission direction on several items that can reasonably be addressed tonight. Technology and industry practices are changing rapidly. Staff recommends focusing on durable land use principles and avoiding detailed technical requirements that may become outdated or that have not yet been professionally reviewed. The current status of the July 20th draft incorporates the changes previously discussed or directed by the commission, including revisions relating to applicability within unincorporated Jackson County, application and interdepartmental review requirements, utility coordination, baseline post-startup periodic and complaint-based testing, annual compliance certification, road use and financial assurance requirement, decommissioning and owner-operator responsibility, enforcement and cost recovery, permanent construction and enclosed building requirements, scenic byway considerations, and cooling and water resource protection. The draft remains a working document. It has not yet been formally recommended by the Zoning Commission or adopted by the Board of Supervisors. The current moratorium expires August 31st, 2026. The commissioners have generally expressed support for extending the moratorium, and the county attorney's office has advised that moratoria are legitimate temporary planning tools, but that an unnecessarily lengthy moratorium may be subject to legal challenge. Based on that guidance, staff will present a proposed 12-month replacement moratorium resolution to the Board of Supervisors on July 28, 2026. The proposed replacement moratorium would update the original data mining terminology to cover the broader range of HDCF and data processing uses, allow time for targeted legal, technical, departmental, and agency review, provide a realistic time frame for final ordinance revisions, and automatically terminate upon the adoption of a HDCF ordinance should the ordinance be completed before the stated expiration date. Since the June 15th joint work session, staff has received or located additional information, including written comments from the Jackson County Farm Bureau Board of Directors, technical comments concerning the use of a 600 amp threshold in the HGCF definition, information shared through the statewide data centers for counties group, and additional public and Board of Supervisors comments concerning setbacks, noise, utilities, water, decommissioning, and enforcement. During the proposed moratorium extension period, staff should seek assistance concerning the following subjects: HDCF definition and electrical thresholds, appropriate use of kilowatts, kilovolt, amperes, megawatts, electrical design capacity, annual energy use, and aggregation of related phases or facilities. Noise and low frequency sound, appropriate dBA and dBc standards, tonal adjustments, measurement location, testing duration, and recurring compliance testing. Vibration, technically appropriate limits, measurement standards, equipment, and whether separate daytime and nighttime limits are necessary. Cooling systems, air-cooled, closed-loop, direct-to-chip, hydro, immersion, and other emergent technologies, including the complete cooling and heat rejection process. Water use and groundwater protection. Water demand, cooling water, discharge, coolant fluids, private wells, karst, sinkholes, shallow bedrock, and hydrological review. Utility coordination. Information that may reasonably be required from applicants and utilities without attempting to regulate utility capacity, service, rates, or operations. Backup generators and fuel storage. Generator testing, noise, emissions permitting, fuel containment, screening, emergency coordination, and applicable state or federal authority. Emergency response. Access, shut-off information, hazardous materials, organized equipment, training needs, and local responder capability. Road use and infrastructure. Traffic studies, haul routes, road condition documentation, repair responsibilities, and financial assurance. Decommissioning and financial assurance. Cost estimate, acceptable security instruments, updates, default procedures, fencing, site security, building reuse and restoration. Ownership and transfer obligation. Successor responsibility, recorded acknowledgements, replacement financial assurance, and release of prior owners or operators. Enforcement, inspection authority, notices, cure periods, equipment suspension, permit revocation, injunctions, abatement, liens, and cost recovery. Zoning structure, whether HDCF should remain conditional uses in existing zoning districts or placed in a separate district or overlay. Items for discussion and possible direction tonight. These items are described individually on the discussion sheet. Any direction provided tonight will be incorporated into a future working draft and, where appropriate, reviewed by the county attorney. Following tonight's work session, staff proposes to present the proposed 12-month replacement moratorium to the Board of Supervisors on July 28th, submit the draft ordinance and targeted questions to appropriate county departments, agencies, utilities, professionals, and legal counsel, organize future work sessions into smaller focused topic areas, prepare comparison materials and proposed language after the relevant technical input is received, and return future substantive revisions to the Commission for review and direction. Staff recommends using the proposed moratorium extension period to obtain targeted professional input while continuing to focus the ordinance on durable land use principles. Technical standards should be added only when they are supportable, legally defensible, practical for the county to administer, and adaptable to changing technology. Which leads us then into the discussion for the evening. non-emergency generator testing hours. I believe this was brought up last month. Any thought?
With proposed language, and I mean, I don't see.
8 to 5, normal business
8 to
hours.
5 normal business hours, I mean, it shouldn't disturb. Anything as long as, I mean, there's gonna be. Noise by this facility anyway, during that time, I would. Assume. So running a generator is not gonna make a whole lot of difference.
And if it's a
I do
non-emergency.
agree with setting a time, so it's not, they're not testing it at midnight or something.
Well, but
I think they would, but.
if this is the data center. And power goes out and they have to have enough generation to keep it running. It's not one generator that's gonna be going, they're gonna have
No,
multiple.
this is just the testing of the generator.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we can't control that, no.
No. Oh.
Right, and there will be more than one. So to get them all done between 8 and 5 instead of like
Yeah,
one this hour, one the next hour and do it.
yeah, do them in sequence rather than all at once, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, mandatory considerations of scenic byway impacts. The current draft allows the Board of Adjustment to consider scenic impacts and impose conditions. Public comments have requested stronger language comparable to the county's wind energy protection. The proposed language is where a proposed HDCF is located within the viewshed of the Greenwood Scenic Byway, the Great River Road, or another designated scenic byway. The Board of Adjustment shall consider the facility's visibility and potential effects on scenic resources and may require reasonable conditions to reduce adverse visual impact.
Yes.
I,
Oh, come on, come on. Okay, why?
It would be consistent.
it would be, but there's a difference between the look of a wind turbine and a building.
Well.
And so,
That's
but here's,
subjective.
but, okay, so here's my question on this. What happens when a farmer decides he wants to put up a shed because they can put one up? And they make it as ugly as sin, but then we're gonna reject a,
I think the scale is the big thing to me.
We're not rejecting.
Yeah, I think the scale is a big thing to me because if you're talking even a medium to small size data center, it's gonna be bigger than what you think. And if you're talking about something like they're proposing up in Dubuque, a hyperscaler, you're talking massive. And so I think it would be, considering that we have always taken into account the scenic byway, I think we ought to be at least as, or the same restrictions in par with what we're doing for windmills. It's not gonna be a machine shed size building that is holding a data center.
They do use the word may in here as opposed to shall consider.
Well, may means they
May,
have discretion.
exactly.
What do you mean then you still?
Don't get me wrong, I understand the economic value of these things, I do.
Oh, okay.
But we got to think about what's right for Jackson County.
Shall consider facility.
My concern with it is,
Maybe they need May or.
are we,
If they have to review, but it can be sent.
are we being fair with a similar type building that houses another business? That's my concern. So,
Okay, so you're saying
So-
if some big manufacturing outfit came in that did feed,
Right.
would we treat them the same way?
right,
That would have a similar sized building?
Yeah.
Becca, can you answer that question?
At this time, we don't, but who's to say we shouldn't?
Right.
I mean, that's my concern, because yes, we need to be aware of that, but my concern is, okay, we limit the data center, but then we have a warehouse that comes in or a manufacturer, something like that. Are we gonna do the same thing?
Sure,
So-
let's do that.
I mean, seriously,
Well,
because
you're talking the scenic byway.
and I get it, but I mean, I'm just saying that we need to be fair.
Okay.
So is this something that we should write into all of it? Or are we gonna play favorites one over another? That's my concern.
She's absolutely right. I think we ought to look into doing it
All of it.
all
Yeah.
to protect the scenic byway.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree too.
We're coming at it from two different directions, but we agree.
Yeah, we're-
I mean,
we're
that's
there.
just, because my concern with it is, if we have a manufacturer that comes in and we're not restricting them, but we're restricting a data center, the data center is gonna turn around and sue the county.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
write
good
it all
point.
up.
Yep.
So let's treat them all the same.
Mhm.
Well, we got a year to work on it, right? Or a
Mhm.
year and a month, actually.
So I'm just,
Not really. Year, a couple weeks. Yeah.
that's all I'm
No,
saying.
no, I get it.
Yep.
Yep, no. Well taken.
That's,
Very good with that.
So we're okay with this language then?
I am, but we have to do it with everything and not just
Oh, yeah.
this.
We're just.
Well, we'll look into it.
So it's, yeah,
We've done it with the wind turbines. We'll do it with the HGCO.
I
so,
don't wanna miss the opportunity to have this right. So we're doing this right now. We can,
I get
Yeah,
it,
that's-
but my caveat is,
That's what I'm
I
getting.
don't want this unless we are guaranteed that we're gonna do it with the rest of it. Otherwise, I'm opposed to it, because if we don't come
Well,
back,
we're not making a final decision right now anyway.
but
So,
that's my concern.
so you could agree to this if we are gonna consider it for all of it.
Only if we consider it for all of it.
I'm okay with that.
It'll be the first thing written into the solar.
I'm with you almost. Yeah, really.
And
Then we also need to change our current ordinances that are out there. So, yeah.
okay. Authority to require a visual impact or view shed analysis. Some sites may require more information before the county can reasonably evaluate visual impacts. Facility size, topography, proximity to neighboring properties, visibility from public roads, or proximity to scenic resources may make a visual impact analysis appropriate. This would not require an analysis for every application. It would authorize staff or the Board of Adjustment to require one when site-specific circumstances warrant it. The proposed language is when required by the zoning administrator or the Board of Adjustment due to facility size, topography, proximity to occupied structures, visibility from public roads, or scenic resource concerns, the applicant shall provide a visual impact or view shed analysis identifying locations from which the proposed facility would be visible and evaluating reasonable screening, landscaping, building orientation, or site layout alternatives. The analysis may include photographs, maps, line of sight diagram, photographic simulations, or other information reasonably necessary to evaluate potential visual impacts. All costs associated with the analysis shall be the responsibility of the applicant. This was after I went on Thursday to the solar farm. And Nextera, the representatives from Nextera, they said that they did this. They said, we came out here, we went to everybody in the area, whether they were participating or not. We did a view shed analysis on them, and they planted trees. Right, Ben? Yep, they planted trees. Some of the places around there, they were just had whatever was already in their landscaping, they planted more of. So that's where I got this thought, was from the solar farm tour on Thursday.
I
Yeah.
just wish I could have gone on that.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
It was very,
Yeah.
it was actually really good, very
I was
informative.
in Des Moines at an IPED meeting.
Yeah. Anyway. Good idea.
And it was the Nextera representatives that sound like that took the,
Good for them.
yeah, took the initiation on this. Security fencing during decommissioning. Jackson County Farm Bureau recommended that security fencing remain in place during decommissioning to discourage vandalism, unauthorized entry, and possible squatting. The current draft requires removal of fencing that is no longer needed, but the timing could be stated more clearly. The proposed language for that is required security fencing shall remain in place until decommissioning and site restoration are substantially complete and remaining site hazards have been removed. Thereafter, fencing shall be removed unless approved as part of a lawful reuse or continued site security plan.
Sure, that makes it more clear. No longer needed to me meant just that. It's just we didn't spell it out for them.
Exactly, yeah.
I can't remember, the decommissioning though, I mean, we're requiring them to put a big permanent structure. So we're allowing them to leave the structure, correct?
Mhm.
So the fencing could stay there permanently anyway.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I was confused at on this one.
But they have to take everything out of the inside of this,
Right.
Yeah,
See,
But it
that's the one that,
or sell it to somebody else, right?
Yeah, and that's, yeah, sell it to somebody else for another purpose that they want.
and
Empty building.
Right, the empty building, yeah.
I question that because we don't make other companies that are in the county remove what they have on the inside.
but should we?
Are you gonna go through every, retired tractor repair place?
Right, I know, it's such a fine line between nuisance and county's responsibility.
I'm not sure it is the county's responsibility because it's the same thing that we discussed on the wind turbines. We might say this. We don't have any authority to go inside that building.
Right. Inside.
Right. So we're saying this in the ordinance, but we don't have the authority to do so.
Yeah.
So
But the potential impacts, if they didn't.
how do we know? We can't.
I
go
know,
in.
I know.
We can't go in and we don't own the property. I'm not sure we can legally do this.
Well, I guess the question is. That depends on what the decommissioning plan says.
But the decommissioning plan,
Well, if the decommissioning plan allows the county to inspect, then you can. It's a plan on how the decommissioning process goes about.
but is there a contract? You know, so here's the other thing. The data center, are they gonna buy the land? Or are they going to lease it from somebody? We don't know how that structure is gonna be. And
Did
then,
we have something in there, about buying versus leasing? I can't remember honestly. Okay, so they could leave,
Right,
yeah, okay.
mhm,
Yeah, because I know that was what they proposed down at Spragueville,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But we didn't have anything in place at that point.
I think they were trying to buy them.
They were talking, they were talking both options, yes.
And this could be a good county attorney question with the, proposed subdivision that just went through the preliminary plat. The Bellevue residents are concerned about the drainage basins. So the county attorney is writing up something that if they don't keep good care of the drainage basins, the county can take care of them, will take care of them, will make them take care of them.
right,
So something similar,
but that's outside the building,
yeah.
not inside the building. And I do, I have a problem when we're trying to tell them this, when we don't require it of us, other businesses. And other abandoned businesses, you know, like I said.
Sure, but. In my mind, and maybe I've got this wrong. We're making. A ordinance for data centers. Okay, so in my mind, it's a standalone ordinance. So it doesn't have to match. Exactly our other ordinances. Am I right when I'm thinking that? It's a standalone ordinance, so it can vary.
But shouldn't,
Maybe.
I mean. And
It's altogether different animal, so why wouldn't it be
So-
different?
we're okay with. Tractor repairs and oil leaching in, this is what I'm getting at.
I might not be okay with it, but we're
Can't write that, we can't write
We're,
that.
we're talking apples and oranges here. We haven't, what we're working on is how do we try, and I'm emphasize, try to, put some guardrails on this, for down the road.
And with a farm repair, who's to say the Board of Adjustment wouldn't put that condition on there?
right, yeah.
That
So,
there
Have
would be.
they?
an
I wanna
inspection.
know if they have.
Yeah.
Cause I'm betting that they never have.
Well, and the ordinance with the home industry and home occupation did just change in November, so we haven't had anybody yet. So, yeah,
So it's just,
Has any farm repair businesses been through a zoning process? Because they're probably all on farms.
if they're not ag-related in their business like that. They have to be zoned appropriately. And we had some place. It happened like 2 years ago, we had to change zoning on it.
it wasn't farm though, was it,
That wasn't, yeah, that wasn't.
car,
That was,
car electronic?
yeah, it was car, engine,
Boost,
same thing.
something. But, yeah.
But.
Which could
similar-
be similar. Could be similar.
Similar issue.
Mhm.
I'm not saying we can't do this, I'm saying, I'm playing the devil's advocate because,
Legally defensible.
okay, quite well taken, let's move on.
you know,
That will definitely have, county attorney review.
Okay.
I was just looking ahead, for example, into section 10. I mean, it kind of talks about emergency access and safety coordination plan. I mean, would our main concern be hazardous waste in this building? And there are some, so it's on page 15, there are some paragraphs that may help us in allowing us to go visit,
Mhm.
because that is in that safety coordination plan. The plan shall be provided to the emergency response agency having jurisdiction for informational review and coordination purposes. So I'm guessing, I'm wondering, based on that paragraph, and that does not give at least the emergency management people permission to enter that facility.
I don't think so.
No,
Well,
They're just.
informational review,
They're just providing, information, hazmat sheets on the products they have in their facility probably to emergency responders, so they know what's in the building.
but if you had questions about that, would you be allowed to go look at that?
Probably not,
No.
probably just be able to talk to the owners about what is it? Bacteria status. What's it called?
and
Anyways,
used to be
you-
NSDS, now it's safety data sheets, SDS.
And
So, yes.
And if you were-
And all that information for that product is on there, you don't need to
Yeah.
ask any more questions. It's there. There it always used to be back in the old days.
It still is.
well, I mean, we're telling them they have to maintain, I mean, the hazard awareness and containment. They have to maintain all of that. I mean, are we not ever allowing us to go look at that to make sure it is being maintained?
It's already required by federal law
Right,
with
so
an SDS.
isn't somebody going to be looking at it then?
The
No,
government, will-
the
we
federal
won't,
So
government,
somebody
but
will be looking to make sure
Maybe.
that
they will get
is.
inspected.
That's what I'm
Maybe.
saying, somebody will be paying attention if there is hazard material
maybe,
not being protected.
Yes,
but the federal government would cover that and it wouldn't be a state or a county issue.
But I'm saying somebody should be looking in that building, and
They,
at some point, if there is a concern, somebody should be noticing that.
Just if there's a complaint, or an issue, they probably will look at it. If there's never a complaint or an issue, probably never get looked at.
Well, and at some point, if they say they're no longer in business, then aren't they going to no longer have to submit something? Then is somebody going to look at that to make sure that that was cleaned up, and that's why they are no longer submitting? I mean, you can't just
so.
quit things.
can you just ask the county attorney about adding language to
Yeah.
for the inspection? They decommission.
Yeah, decommissioning language, have it in there, wow. Good concept. Decommissioning plan, I would disagree with you, let's hear what the county attorney has to say.
Yeah,
Yes, that will be for you. Number 5, road repair financial assurance cross-reference. The current draft already requires the facility owner or operator to repair damaged county roads associated with the project, allows the county to require a bond, letter of credit, or escrow, requires security equal to 130% of estimated road-related costs, and permits the county to use the security if required repairs are not completed. Farm Bureau's comment appears to be substantially addressed. However, a cross-reference could make the connection between the road repair obligation and the financial assurance requirement clearer. So the proposed direction is to add an internal cross-reference stating that road repair obligations are secured by the road-related financial assurance required elsewhere in the ordinance.
Okay,
As long as the county engineer. I think he should be the one to approve that.
And again, from what I said earlier, this is language that is similar to the windmill ordinance or the wind ordinance, which keeps us consistent, so that's good.
Yes, yeah, he, it is on his task list to make sure that it would comply
Yeah.
to, if he needs to add anything else, then he knows he's more than welcome to.
Okay.
Number 6, the applicant, developer, or option holder acknowledgement issue. The current draft requires a recorded acknowledgement addressing property owner and facility owner operator responsibility, successor obligations, transfers, and the county's enforcement authority. Farm Bureau noted that the party seeking zoning approval may be a developer, applicant, option holder, or project-specific limited liability company rather than the eventual facility operator. Requiring the applicant or developer to participate in the acknowledgement could help prevent a gap in responsibility during project development or transfer. The precise legal language should be reviewed by the county attorney, but the proposed direction is to require the applicant, developer, or option holder to execute the acknowledgement when that party is different from the property owner or facility operator.
Didn't we have something like this in the wind turbine?
I believe so. I
So-
have a copy, it's, you guys have it.
Right. Yeah, so I think we need to look at it the same way we did with the wind turbine.
Hey, I agree.
I don't remember that part being in there, but it could be.
I think we did because we had this discussion on the wind turbines, they would be built and then they've been handed off to
Yeah.
other,
The thing
it was
is,
something on the successors and interest.
well, check it out and see if we've got something,
Yeah.
and if we do, try to match it up. Otherwise, you know. That is a problem with a lot of these projects, whether it's data centers, windmills, whatever, is there's an option holder waiting in the wings to take over once the project's up and running.
Right. Setbacks, participating parcels, and waivers. The current draft requires 1,000 feet from occupied structures and cemeteries, 500 feet from non-participating property lines, 500 feet from wells, and 1,000 feet from mapped census of areas. Since the last work session, staff has received additional comments concerning whether the principal setback should instead be measured from the property line of a non-participating parcel. Jackson County Farm Bureau recommends 1,000-foot property line setback, partly because livestock and other agricultural activities may occur in pastures, open lots, or seasonal locations that are not protected by an occupied structure setback. A 1,320-foot setback has also been suggested. That distance equals 1/4 mile and is used or proposed in some other jurisdictions, although it is not a uniform county standard. Here are the list of questions for commission discussion. And also the direction that could be given tonight. The commission does not necessarily need to select the final distance tonight. It could direct staff to retain property line setbacks as part of the ordinance, narrow the alternatives to 1,000 and 1,320 feet, develop a recorded waiver process, evaluate how each alternative would affect potential sites in Jackson County, and return with comparison information and county attorney review. Because setbacks are a basic land use policy rather than a rapidly changing technical standard, staff recommends discussing the general approach tonight. The commission may select a preferred approach or direct staff to further evaluate a limited number of alternatives during the moratorium extension period.
I'm concerned if we attempt to change the setbacks, just because the wind turbines go straight up. The buildings do not. And did you ever get a chance to look at the data center or the server farm over in Monticello?
I have driven by it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. You'd never know it was there.
Yeah, that's not what's getting built today.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, that sufficed back in the day, but what they're building today is not like that.
I wanna make it property lines, is my opinion. Non-participating property lines.
Not participating, yeah.
I agree.
I would agree with that as well.
No other discussion? I will,
I think the waiver though should be allowed, because I think we did that in the turbine, didn't we?
I think it would.
Sure, if the property owner is the property owner is willing to give a waiver, whether that's for financial or because a good neighbor.
Right,
You know, I have no trouble with them giving a waiver.
Yep.
Protect the people that don't want to give a waiver.
If we're gonna do waivers, would you guys be willing to go with the 1,320 feet? Or project is still going, they're just gonna have to have
I
waivers.
I say no, or a
Good.
staff review, because that, I think that's too far.
and it says right here, we don't have to decide tonight,
Right.
so I would like a review of that as well. I would
Okay.
like to see what you come up with on the longer distances.
Okay.
And should we consider? Even if you do a waiver, like a minimum distance. Like we don't want it 100 foot from the property line, do we do a minimum, or do we not worry about that if we want to sign an agreement?
If they sign an
Have that,
agreement,
as long as it meets the other,
yeah, if they
So-
sign an agreement, I think, yeah,
okay, this is one thing I hadn't thought about.
Well. On this. When somebody signs a waiver. You know, if they're willing to, you know, for whatever reason, I'm okay with them, you know. Taking whatever, you know, they agree to, doesn't have to meet our standards if they're willing to sign a waiver. But on the other hand, if they're unwilling to sign a waiver, I am looking at a longer distance. You know, because I think, you know. The people that don't want it are gonna wanna be as far away as possible. The people that were willing to sign a waiver for whatever reason, you know, probably financial, we shouldn't hamstring them if they're willing to, you know, to sign a waiver and get a financial gain out of it.
True.
That's my thinking.
I would just add, as long as them signing a waiver does not affect the distance
Yeah.
to a very close property owner to them.
they're signing the waiver can't infringe on another property
On the
Yeah.
next property.
Correct.
And it's perpetual.
yeah.
It's there forever.
Mhm.
Recorded, it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
So the next landowner has to live with it too.
mhm.
Well, they have to be made clear.
Right.
And that's why.
It would be built there.
Right, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, possibly, if it's
Yeah.
not being built, but
At the time,
Right,
they
yeah.
sold it. quickly.
sold a quick way to get out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, recorded,
Right.
yeah. Okay. Administrative and non-substantive drafting corrections. The suggested corrections can be made. These include spelling out technical acronyms at first use and defining recurring acronyms and technical terms. Some of that was referred in the Farm Bureau.
Had we not,
Yeah, I think that was a good suggestion that, like, if we use,
Kilowatt hour and,
Because we did that.
And some of the-
Right, we did.
yeah.
and some of the government agencies that we put down, we should probably maybe even have those in the definitions.
Mhm.
I don't think they were.
okay, well, if they're not in there, they probably should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they were, but they were.
Okay.
Like NFPA and ANSI and INC, things like that, they should be.
But I didn't know what ANSI standard was.
I don't know.
You don't know what it means, but I don't know what the letters mean, but I know what they stand for.
Yeah, and
If you've ever had boots,
IEC.
Steel toe boots, they have an ANSI standard.
I've never got still books,
No,
no.
I had requirements, so yeah.
Andrew, my son Andrew has to wear them.
Okay, so that went, everything was covered with the Farm Bureau. The informational note regarding the draft HDCF moratorium extension. A draft 12-month extension of the temporary moratorium on HDCF high-intensity computing facilities has been included in the packet for transparency and awareness. Staff previously communicated with commissioners individually regarding the reasoning for requesting a longer extension period, including the amount of ordinance work remaining and the need for adequate time to complete review of this type of land use. After review with the county attorney's office, the recommendation is to proceed with a 12-month extension rather than an 18-month extension. The draft moratorium extension is anticipated to be presented to the Board of Supervisors on July 28, 2026. This item is being provided to the Commission for transparency and awareness only. It is not scheduled for Commission discussion, recommendation, or action at the July 20th, 2026 meeting because it was not on the agenda.
Okay.
To the agenda.
Back to the agenda.
One quick thing,
Yes.
page 9 of the ordinance, number C wells. We'll need to look at that distance, it says 500 feet. So we'll need to have that match up. For the setbacks.
Well,
Am I thinking that right? 'Cause if you had to be, say, 1,000 or 1,320 feet from the property line, you couldn't have a well 500 feet from the property line. Could you?
Yeah, you
I
could.
guess you could. Yep, that's right. You're right.
Okay,
Any other thoughts?
okay, the next thing on the agenda is minutes from the staff, next meeting and other updates.
Next meeting. August 17th. 7 p.m. Also at the next meeting. We can discuss, since it's not on the agenda, we can discuss, the time change.
Oh, for fall.
Yeah, which won't change anymore.
Well, daylight savings time is not gonna change the way I understand it, right? They
Right.
passed that?
I haven't voted on it yet.
They have voted.
The Senate hasn't voted.
It's not passed,
Okay, it's not passed yet,
Yeah.
okay.
not time word.
Well, unless it happened today, and I don't think it did.
Okay. Well, your article I read made it sound like it was gonna be a done deal, maybe that.
Yeah.
And we're at 7 p.m. until November meeting, so. we
Yes,
have
we've
some
got
time to
time.
decide.
Changing, it's gonna be later. Yeah. Okay. So the next item is any other thing from the commissioners at all? Okay. Next thing is anything from the public, you're allowed to speak for 3 minutes on anything that was not on the agenda tonight. And talk about high density heating facilities. So if you got anything to say, allowed to right now. Anybody on? There at all?
Mary, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Ryan, do you have anything?
Apparently not.
No.
Next item, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody
Aye.
opposed? Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you all for coming.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.